What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be doing my final rumor roundup of the iPad 3. First off, let's talk about the event where they're actually going to be announcing the new iPad 3. If you haven't already heard, Apple sent out invites today for their March 7th event taking place at the Yerba Buena Center for Arts in San Francisco. So again, that is March 7th. With the invite was a picture of an iPad and a finger touching it, and it appears to have a higher quality screen than what's on the iPad 2 right now. And in the bottom right corner of the picture it says, "We have something you really have to see and touch," and that's separated in two sentences. Also, a lot of people have pointed out in the picture they sent out that the iPad 3 does not have a home button on it, because in the picture you see the bottom row of icons or the dock on the finger touching it, but there is not a home button in the place. But what some people have said is that the iPad is actually in landscape mode, because if you actually put 6 icons in the dock, it looks exactly the same as it does on the iPad 2. But that could be wrong. The iPad 3 may not have a home button. What do you think about that? So that's enough of the event, but I will of course be covering this live via Twitter and on my website, and then I'll do a video recap afterwards on my YouTube channel here. But if you want more information on the event, so as far as like times, where it's going to be in your time zone, links to other live coverage as well as my stuff, I'll give you a link in the description where I did a blog post on Ty'sIPhoneHelp.com with all that info. So just check out the link in the description below. Next up, let's talk about the display on the iPad 3. I think it's pretty certain that it is going to have a Retina display. There's so much evidence and rumors supporting it, so I think it is going to come true. We are going to see a gorgeous Retina display on the new iPad 3. If the new iPad 3 has a Retina display, it's going to have a resolution of 2048 by 1536, which with the images that MacRumors posted shows evidence of that, and it's also double the resolution of the iPad 2's display. So yeah, there's been more rumors to support that, but I don't feel like I need to go over it. If you want to, you can just watch some past rumor roundup videos, but yeah, pretty certain that it's going to have a Retina display. So next up, let's talk about the cameras on the iPad 3. Now, it's rumored that it's going to get an update like the iPhone 4 did to the 4S, where it's an 8 megapixel camera now, which I'm guessing is true. And hopefully they will update the camera on the front of the device, because that's really the only one that I use or even care about for FaceTiming. Other than that, I don't really want to take pictures on my iPad 3, but it would be nice to have an 8 megapixel camera on it, just as long as they update the front camera also. VGA is crap. With adding the better camera and the Retina display, it is going to make the iPad 1mm thicker, so it's kind of got a more tapered design to it around the edges, but it's not going to be something you really notice. 1mm is nothing, but there has been tons and tons of pictures of new iPad 3s supposedly that are supporting these rumors, so it's pretty certain that it is going to be a little bit thicker, but it is hard to imagine Apple doing an iPad and making it thicker, because that's kind of opposite of what they normally do. Next up, let's talk about the processor on the iPad 3. Currently, the iPad 2 has an A5 processor, and there's lots of different rumors what the iPad 3 could feature. It could feature an A6 processor, which would be a big upgrade to a quad-core processor, which would be really, really nice. But there's also been rumors recently saying that it may be an A5X processor, which could be a small upgrade, but at the same time, it still could be quad-core. Even though I think if they do A5X, I think it will just be a small incremental update with a little bit of speed increase rather than a big quad-core update where they would probably call that A6. But it could go either way or have either name. I personally am leaning more towards a quad-core processor on the iPad 3. I think they need to do it, and also I think it's going to need it to power that Retina display. Plus, there's even been iOS developers that have found references to having quad-core on the iPad 3 in iOS software. So either way, the processor will have an update on the iPad 3, just depends on what Apple wants to update it to. Also, with the new processor on the iPad 3, hopefully they will add Siri support to it, because we know the iPad 2 can do it right now, as well as even the iPod Touches and stuff like that, but I think they will add Siri support with the new processor, so that's pretty good. And now the feature that I think everybody wants on the iPad 3, 4G LTE. And I know everybody doesn't want it, but I'll explain what I mean in just a minute. So that means that it will work on AT&T and Verizon's 4G networks, and it will be CDMA and GSM, so that'll work on other carriers out there that have 4G in other parts of the world. Now also on the iPad 3, I think they will do like they did in the iPhone 4S, where they will upgrade it and make it just one iPad for both CDMA and GSM carriers, so that way it makes their production easier and saves them a lot more money on production. So that means if you buy an iPad 3 from Verizon and you're tired of using their plan, you cancel, you can switch to AT&T. Don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can. Now back to what I was saying about everybody wanting to have 4G LTE on the iPad 3. Even if you're not going to get the iPad 3 or you don't care if it has LTE, what that means is that if the iPad 3 is going to have LTE, it's pretty certain the new iPhone will also. So that's what I meant by that. So if the iPad has it, the iPhone's going to, most likely, which it will, I think. hopefully. Now let's talk about battery life on the iPad 3. If the rumors are true and it is going to be 1mm thicker, it's pretty certain Apple will try to pack a better battery in it. I've even heard rumors saying that the iPad 3's battery life will be double that of the iPad 2. So either way, an increase in battery life is awesome. And now let's talk about pricing on the iPad 3. I personally think that it's going to stay the same price as the iPad 2 is now, and then the previous iPads will drop in price. I haven't heard too many rumors about pricing as far as the iPad 3, but that's my guess. Next up, let's talk about the name of the new iPad. Will it be called the iPad 3, or will it be called the iPad 2S and just be an incremental upgrade just like the iPhone 4 was to the 4S? I've heard people refer to it as the iPad 2S because they think it's an incremental upgrade, where at the same time I've heard people call it the iPad 3. Personally, I think it'll be the iPad 3 because if it's going to feature everything that I just talked about, 4G LTE, 8-megapixel camera, a Retina display, and quad-core, I don't think that's really an incremental upgrade from the iPad 2. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe you have your own opinions. What do you think? Is that all those features I just talked about a big upgrade from the iPad 2 we have now, and will you be interested to get it? For me, I don't really use my iPad 2 a lot, so the upgrade from the iPad 2 to the iPad 3 is not worth me getting it. Of course I will, because I'm going to do videos on it and stuff like that. But what do you guys think? Is that worth an upgrade to the iPad 3 with all the stuff that I mentioned, if those are true? But take into account these are rumors. Don't get your hopes up and expect these. They are rumors. That's what I do these videos for, to tell you what to expect in it, or not. Alright, that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to click the like button down there below the video, and if you enjoyed this video and you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I do all kinds of videos on iOS devices, as well as lots of other tech and stuff like that. So stay tuned, as well as more videos on the iPad 3. Alright, that's it. Peace!